Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Have you ever wanted to share your travel experiences but didn't know how to express it in English? A question many of us have found ourselves grappling with, especially when our minds are brimming with unforgettable memories, magnificent sights, and thrilling adventures. Travel experiences are like a treasure trove of stories just waiting to be shared. They allow us to relive the joy and excitement and transport our listeners to far-off places, all from the comfort of our living room. There's something magical about recounting your journey, isn't there? It's like opening a window to the world for your friends and family, or even for your future self. And yet, it's not always easy. When English isn't your first language, conveying the depth and breadth of your experiences can sometimes feel like climbing Everest. But don't worry, that's where we come in. Think about it. How often have you found yourself searching for the right words to describe the breathtaking sunset you witnessed in Bali, or the bustling streets of New York City? How many times have you struggled to express the joy of tasting authentic Italian pizza in Naples, or the awe-inspiring sight of the Great Wall of China? We've all been there. That's why we're here to help you navigate this linguistic journey. This video series is designed to arm you with the English expressions you need to share your travel experiences with confidence. We'll be exploring useful phrases, descriptive adjectives, and even some tips for giving travel recommendations. Whether you're a seasoned globetrotter with tales from every corner of the world, or a budding adventurer with a heart full of wanderlust, this video is for you. By the end of this series, you'll be able to express your travel experiences in English with ease, painting vivid pictures with your words, and engaging in rich conversations about your adventures. So, are you ready to embark on this journey with us? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the world of travel and English expressions. Stay tuned as we are about to dive into the world of travel and English expressions. Imagine this. You've just returned from an unforgettable trip to Japan. You're brimming with stories, eager to share your experiences. You start with Tokyo, the vibrant capital city. It was buzzing, teeming with life at every corner. You visited the iconic Shibuya crossing, where you were swept away in a sea of people. It was crowded, yes, but there was a sort of rhythm to the chaos that was utterly thrilling. Next, you ventured to Kyoto, a city that felt like a peaceful sanctuary nestled in the heart of the country. You strolled through the Arashiyama bamboo grove, the tall, slender stalks of bamboo towering overhead, creating a canopy that bathed everything in a soft, green light. It was serene, a stark contrast to the bustling streets of Tokyo. You indulged in the local cuisine, savoring the delightful nuances of flavors. The sushi was fresh, the ramen hearty, and the matcha desserts were a sweet surprise. You also tried your hand at a tea ceremony, the process meticulous yet calming, an experience that offered a glimpse into the country's rich traditions. Then there was the unforgettable visit to Mount Fuji. The majestic peak, dusted with snow, was a breathtaking sight. Despite the biting cold, the view was worth every shiver. And the people you met along the way, their warmth and hospitality added a special touch to your journey. You learned a few phrases in Japanese, exchanged stories, and formed connections that transcended language barriers. So here's what you'd recommend to anyone planning a trip to Japan. Don't miss the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo. It's a unique experience. Make sure to visit Kyoto's bamboo grove, and if you have a sweet tooth, try the matcha-flavored treats. And of course, no trip to Japan would be complete without witnessing the majestic Mount Fuji. That was a mesmerizing journey, wasn't it? But how can we express this in English? Let's break down our travel story and see how we can express it in English. When recounting your adventures, the first thing you want to do is to set the stage with the places you've visited. You might say, on my trip to Italy, I visited Rome, Florence, and Venice. By detailing the cities or sites you explored, you give your listener a clear picture of your journey's geography. Now let's talk about highlighting your experiences. This is where phrases like, the most amazing place I saw was, come into play. For instance, you could say, the most amazing place I saw was the Colosseum in Rome. This phrase not only tells your listener about an incredible sight you've seen, but it also communicates your personal enthusiasm and awe. Next, you'd want to encourage your listener to explore these places themselves. You can do this by using phrases such as, you should definitely check out. For example, you should definitely check out the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. This kind of recommendation makes your travel story interactive, inviting your listener to imagine themselves in your shoes. Now let's sprinkle some adjectives into our story to give it more color and life. Descriptive adjectives such as breathtaking, crowded, and peaceful can paint a vivid picture in your listener's mind. For instance, you might say, Venice was breathtakingly beautiful, but quite crowded, while the Tuscan countryside was peaceful and serene. With these adjectives, you're not just recounting facts, but sharing your personal impressions and feelings about the places you visited. Remember, your travel story isn't just a list of places and activities. It's a narrative that should engage your listener, spark their imagination, and maybe even inspire them to embark on their own adventure. So don't be afraid to get creative with your language and express your unique perspective. Now that you know the phrases and adjectives, let's talk about recommendations. When you share a travel story, it's always great to give some recommendations. That's where we step in. So let's dive right in and get started. Imagine you've just returned from a breathtaking trip to Rome. You're eager to share your experiences and suggest some must-see spots. How do you do that? Well, here are a few phrases that might come in handy. You can start by saying, if you ever find yourself in Rome, you should definitely check out the Colosseum. This phrase is a great way to recommend a place without sounding too pushy. It's as if you're saying, hey, if you happen to be there, here's something you might enjoy. Another handy phrase is, don't miss the chance to visit the Pantheon. This gives a sense of urgency, making your recommendation sound more compelling. It's as if you're saying, trust me, you wouldn't want to miss this. Now let's say you want to recommend a specific activity, like trying out local food. You could say, make sure to try the gelato in Rome. It's like nothing you've ever tasted before. This not only suggests an activity, but also adds a dash of intrigue by hinting at a unique experience. In some cases, you might want to recommend avoiding certain things. For instance, you could say, avoid visiting the Vatican on Sundays as it can get overwhelmingly crowded. This way, you're helping your listener steer clear of potential pitfalls, making your travel advice even more valuable. Remember, the aim is to make your recommendations sound enticing, to spark curiosity, and to create a vivid mental image. Use descriptive adjectives and paint a picture with your words. Instead of just saying, visit the Roman Forum, say, stroll through the Roman Forum, where ancient ruins tell tales of a time long past. Now you are equipped with all the tools to share your travel experiences in English. Go ahead and give it a try.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level B1. Destination, the place you are traveling to. Example, my favorite destination so far has been Paris because of its amazing art and culture. Journey, the act of traveling from one place to another. Example, the journey to the mountains was long but incredibly scenic. Recommend, to suggest something as being good or suitable. Example, I highly recommend visiting the local markets when you're in Thailand. Adventure, an exciting and sometimes risky experience. Example, our trip to the jungle turned into an unforgettable adventure when we spotted wild animals. Memorable, worth remembering because it is special or enjoyable. Example, my most memorable trip was hiking to the top of a volcano at sunrise.